Hello and welcome to the vlog of Rhonda's Readings. Well, if you've been watching my recipes, this is a recipe vlog, you'll know that I love mushrooms. So what I'm cooking today for lunch is mushroom soup. So first of all, I'm going to fry off an onion with some garlic. I've got some garlic bits, garlic cloves, and also some garlic paste. I also have some wild garlic salt and wild mushroom salt. The other seasoning I also have are mixed herbs, some rosemary, and obviously just normal pepper. So that's what I'm going to use to season and fry off the onion and the garlic first off. I'm also going to fry off the mushrooms, the cup mushrooms. I've got other mushrooms as well to use. I have some pearl mushrooms. I also have some enoki mushrooms. So as you know, I like those mushrooms in soups. I also have shiitake mushrooms. So what I do is I rehydrate the shiitake mushrooms and I use the liquid as part of the stock. What I'm also going to use are this packet of soup mix. So we have about a third of a packet left. So I've got that soaking with the shiitake mushrooms and I will blend that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of blend it to have a bit of soup-like texture, but I'm also going to have some things that are a little bit chunky or sort of texture, which is the buttercup mushrooms. Okay, so what I've done also for the stock, so I said I was having the shiitake mushroom rehydrated in water, so that water that's soaked the shiitake mushroom I use for stock. What I also am doing is just a chicken and a vegetable, one stock cube each, and I've actually mixed that up with some bento flakes. So it probably sounds really silly because this is a bit of a fishy sort of flavour, but it's sort of like a meaty texture, meaty flavour as well. And I've actually got that just in a cup here that I've made up, and it smells absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit of a fishy smell, but it's really quite mild, and that actually tastes beautiful with the chicken and vegetable stock and the bento flakes and the mushroom soup. It tastes beautiful. So I'm not making a traditional mushroom soup. You probably think of creamy mushroom soup, and I'm not adding cream, I'm not doing anything like that. So this is a dairy-free recipe. It's also a vegetarian recipe. I'm also going to we've made some bread. So we've got a crusty white loaf of bread that we've got topped with pumpkin seeds. So I'm also going to chop that up and make little bread chips as well to go with the soup. So that's what we're making today. This is what we had soaking overnight. So we're rehydrating shiitake mushrooms, and we also have Mackenzie's soup mix in with that. So it's a little bit chunky at the moment. I will blend it and make it more like a soup-like consistency. So that's already the start of our stock, and we add our bento chicken and vegetable stock to that and build the flavours obviously with frying the onion and garlic and that sort of thing. Okay, so we're just starting off cutting up the ingredients that we're going to start frying off. So it's literally just an onion and garlic cloves. Okay, so that's the onion cut up, and also just take out some cloves of garlic. So I've just got 1, 2, we'll add 3 actually. Okay, and I'll just sort of cut that up a little bit. It's probably not, I'm not good at crunching it like that. I know lots of people do it, but I never seem to be able to do it. So just cutting up some little garlic ones now. It's an unusual texture buying it in a jar. Okay, so that's good to go, and we'll start frying that off. Okay, Okay, I'll start cutting up the mushrooms now. So these are the oyster ones. They're a little strange, so I'll just sort of cut them like that. And I'll keep the middle bit out because that's a bit weird looking. I've tried them raw. I don't like them as much raw as the cut mushrooms. Maybe I'm not used to it, but I love the different taste and textures of cooked mushrooms. So I'm keeping some of them to have in a kind of like mushroom dumplings. But I don't need much because same thing for the textures. I'm going to keep a little bit of the different ones for that. Okay, so that's sort of what I've done so far. If anyone is used to these mushrooms and has a different way of cooking with them, please let me know. Okay, so just cutting those up. I'll probably keep this little bit for the dumpling mixtures that I'm going to do later. So I'll just pop that in there. Okay, so this is our cut up mushrooms, and I'll cut that up a bit thinner. That's a cute little one. There you go. These mushrooms remind me of that movie Journey to the Center of the Earth. Remember when they went and found a place where wild mushrooms were growing? And like they were huge, they were, 10 feet tall. And they were all these sorts of shapes and colours. Okay, so we've got some like that, so we'll sort of blend some of them and then the others we'll keep for textures. So I'll just sort of pop those in a little bowl. That's my first one chopped. They actually smell nice. They're not fragrant, but it sort of smells nice, which is weird. So there we go, that's our bowl there. Okay, these are the enoki mushrooms. We got these on special, but so clearly they're starting to go a bit sort of wobbly, so I'm actually only going to use the top half of those. And I've washed them, but that's sort of all I'm willing to use with these ones. So just going to put that in the mushroom bowl here. I'm going to throw out this. Okay, so I have my oyster mushrooms and enoki mushrooms just there. Now I'll start cutting up the cut mushrooms. Okay, so that's our cut mushrooms cut up. I'll keep some of these for the dumplings. So that's quite a lot for the dumplings, which I'll make tomorrow. Okay, so I'll just grab another bowl for these ones. And try not to drop many on the floor. Okay, so there we go. We have our cut mushrooms cut up, our gnocchi mushrooms and oyster mushrooms. I'll also be taking some of the shiitake mushrooms out of the pot to cut them as well. Okay, so I've taken out some shiitake mushrooms from the mixture that was soaking overnight. I've got some of the soup grains as well with it. I didn't think about removing them. Some are still in there, but that's okay. Remember I said I'm going to leave some whole just for the texture, that blend the rest up. So just cutting up the shiitake mushrooms now. So obviously keeping all the juice and goodness in to go with the stock. So we used two types. We had whole shiitake mushrooms and the sliced ones. The sliced ones tend to be longer, so I'm not sure what, I mean, they say they're shiitake mushrooms, but I'm not sure how many varieties of them there are because they seem to be quite different. And you can obviously get some really big ones judging by the length of the ones that we get. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm actually just going to pop that back in the stock now. Okay, so now I've got some garlic paste and butter here, just ready to fry off my onions and garlic. Also going to add some rosemary oil to that. Okay, so I'll just pop that in. I also have in the background the soup base mix and shiitake mushrooms just simmering. Okay, so I'm just going to brown that off. So I had butter, garlic paste and rosemary oil in there. Just spraying some more oil. And I'm wanting to brown off some other things as well, the mushrooms. Also add some more butter. So just adding some more butter to that. Okay, so that's browning off with that. Okay, I'm going to start browning up the mushrooms as well. So start off with the cut mushrooms. Just going to add some of the other mushrooms, or all of the other mushrooms. And obviously stir that in. So I'm really just browning it to give it a bit more sort of texture and different flavour. Also going to season that with some wild garlic salt. Also some wild mushroom salt. I'll also add in those shiitake mushrooms that I've chopped. I also have some rosemary. And some mixed herbs as well. Probably looks like I'm adding a lot, but I've cooked with these herbs quite a lot. So some recipes I put a lot, some recipes I don't put as much, but this I feel is the right amount for this. And just because I've added so much salt, I'm also adding pepper. So I'm not adding chilies or anything like that, I'm just adding the pepper. I mean, you could even add some paprika if you wanted, but I will just keep it like this to keep the flavour of the mushrooms in. Just adding a little bit more rosemary oil to that. Okay, so that's looking good. So now I'm also going to add my stock mix, so my chicken and vegetable stock cube and bento flakes. So I've sort of browned them off, and then I'm starting the sort of soup mixture, and then I'm just going to combine those two as well. Okay, what I'm making with this roll, this is a homemade roll just from a packet of crusty white bread mix. So I'm just making up a little garlic herb bread. So I just have some oil here. It's pure refined soybean oil. So I'm literally just pouring some oil in this. Also going to combine that with some garlic, some minced garlic, which we've nearly finished, so it's actually a lot. So I'll just mix that up with the oil. I also have some vegetable spices. So these are fairly salty. We don't tend to use them too much, but they are quite tasty with things like bread and that, because you sort of grill it and you don't, I don't know whether the taste of salt is nice with grilled or fried food or what it is, but I like it with bread, but not much of other things. Also, sometimes if I just cook mushrooms on its own or something that I want a little bit of seasoning for, I'll use a little bit of that. Okay, so we're just going to slice the bread. You can do it thin or thick, whatever thickness you want. I'm just sort of going to do it about this thickness. So this bread is a day old. We made it yesterday. And we find this bread, the bread that we make ourselves, it's beautiful if you have it in the first couple of days. Otherwise it's not as nice, or we'll sort of make it in a mornay or something and use it as breadcrumbs. And we've also got some pumpkin seeds with that as well. What I do now is I literally just grab a little bit of the oil and just sort of butter each slice. So it's a different consistency to buttering it. Sometimes I sort of butter it first and then I add this, or I melt the butter and have that. So I've obviously run out. So that's fine, I can just use a bit of butter in that. Okay, so that's our little bread. So for this one, it didn't have any oil mixture on it. Just going to kind of soak it up like that. Okay, and then I just grill these. Okay, so that's looking good. I'll just turn that off. And what I'm going to do is add that to my bigger pot here. So that's been simmering away. So I'm literally going to pour one into the other. So that's my combined mushroom and stock mixes. So this is basically the start of the soup. When that's, it probably sounds silly, but I'm going to cool that down a bit and then blend it. But I'm going to keep some of it, some of the original mushrooms, just for that crunchy sort of texture. So what I'm going to do before I turn it off is taste it. Just going to taste that now, just to make sure it's not too salty or anything like that. Oh, that's pretty nice. Do you want to try it? The rosemary is quite strong, actually. But that's okay, the rosemary blend. Maybe more pepper.
Yeah.
Gonna add some more pepper to it. Yeah, now that I taste it, I'll probably put a little bit too much rosemary, but that's okay, that'll be fine. What I might do even to sort of counteract that is I'm just going to add some more bento.
We'll probably get a bit more mushroom flavour in it when we blend it too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I just put a little bit more of the bento in that. That looks good. Yeah, so that's actually good. So that's basically our soup base. I'm just going to turn the heat down and then blend that, and then we'll reheat it and serve it up. Okay, so now that the soup mix has cooled down, we've got it in a blender. So as you can see, all the mushroom bits, and we'll just start blending that. It doesn't sound very healthy, but I'm sure it's fine. I mean, it's not too hot, so the glass shouldn't explode in my face. Okay, so you can see that blending up now. Okay, so that's looking good. Okay, so we'll have a look inside it. So it's not cream and mushroom soup, although it looks it. It's just blended. And we've also got, so we'll see that there. Yeah, so that's looking better. It's more blended. And we've also kept this bowl. So this bowl we're keeping for the chunks, just to add a bit of texture to it. So it's mostly blended, but we do like texture in foods. Okay, so we're tipping the soup mixture, the blended soup mixture, back into this pot. So it's looking a bit more like soup. So we have a little thing here to help with that. that's obviously being heated at the moment. And we will also add in our chunky mix. So that's to go in with the soup, and then we'll just mix that up here. Okay, so just mixing that up now. So it's mostly blended, but a bit of chunkiness for the texture. And this is almost ready to go. So that's our mushroom soup. And we have our little breads grilling just underneath this. And these are our little breads ready to go in the grill. So we'll have these with the soup. Okay, so this is our finished product. We've just topped it with some fried onions just there. So now for the tasting. I'm very excited. Smells good. I love mushrooms, so I'm biased. That's yummy. It's yeah, I can taste mushrooms. It's kind of like a strong and mild taste all into one taste. So that's obviously the different textures. I really like the different textures. That's beautiful. I absolutely love that. I'll just try a little bit of bread as well. That's nice. And you can obviously dunk it as well. That's beautiful. Dunking bread always reminds me of my grandfather. My grandfather used to have a bowl of vegetable soup, and he'd have 3 slices of white buttered bread, and he'd dunk each one and have soup in his bread. And then in the bottom of his bowl, he'd literally have a bowl full of vegetables because he'd dunk up all the liquid with his toast. So I think that's where I get it from. I get that from my granddad. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed my mushroom soup recipe. Let me know what you like to make in soups. Let me know what you like to do with mushrooms. Do you love mushrooms as much as me? Comment below. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rhonda's Readings. Stay tuned. Every Friday I release a new recipe vlog. Please hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I do release a new vlog. And please share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Bye. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rhonda's Readings. Click the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of when I release future vlogs. Thank you.